Today, let us take up the human rights. The human rights was enacted as an ordinance, and then it was subsequently made as Parliamentary Act during 1993, 12th October 1993. Considering the importance of the human rights, மனித உரிமை என்ற ஒரு அமைப்பின் கீழ் 12th அக்டோபர் 1993 முன்பதாக ஆர்டினன்ஸாக இருந்தது. அதனை பார்லிமெண்டரி ஆக்டாக மாற்றிவிட்டார்கள். இந்த மனித உரிமை என்பது ஒரு தனி மனிதன் பிறக்கும் பொழுது எந்தவித கட்டுப்பாடும் இல்லாமல் ஃப்ரீயாக பிறக்கின்றான். ஆகவே அந்த மனிதன் அவனுடைய உரிமைகளை பெற்று வாழ்வதற்கான வழிவகைகளை இந்த சட்டம் செய்து தருகிறது. மனித உரிமை மீறல் எங்கேனும் ஏற்படின் இந்த மனித உரிமை கழகம் ஈடுபட்டு அந்த மனித உரிமைக்கு எதிரான செயல்களை, அந்த வயலேஷனை அடக்கி அவர்கள் மீது தண்டனை வாங்கி தருவதே இந்த ஹியூமன் ரைட்ஸ் நோக்கமாகும். இந்த ஹியூமன் ரைட்ஸ் பல உரிமைகளை உள்ளடக்கியதோடு அல்லாமல் போலீஸினுடைய காவல்துறையின் அத்துமீறலையும் கண்டிக்க செய்கிறது. கஸ்டோடியல் டெத் அல்லது அவர்கள் வரம்பு மீறிய செயல், அவற்றையெல்லாம் உள்ளடக்கியதே இந்த ஹியூமன் ரைட்ஸ் என்பது. அதனை நாம் பார்க்க இருக்கின்றோம். ஸோ first of all we will see what is human rights. The human being are born free and they are not shackled by any bondage, and hence the rights of the human being are to be protected by any means. So the government should see that the human rights are given to each and every human being for the prestigious living or honorary living. Now we will see one by one origin and development of human rights. So even it has been since time immemorial, this has been the human rights are there, and this has gained importance after Second World War, and the human rights originated during 1215, that is Magna Carta in England, and 1525 the 12 articles of Black Forest has come in 1525, and then 1689 Britannia rights element, and then during 1776 US revolution has come to insist on the human rights, and during 1789 French revolution has come up, and during this period, during the French revolution, Walter Rousseau and then so many people have insisted on the human rights, and during 1776 Virginia report has also insisted about the human rights, and 1864 Geneva conference have also come, and 1919 League of Nations, that is preventing war. The League of Nations, so many nations have joined together to prevent the preventing of war, and then the collective through collective security. That is the origin and development. Then we will see the generation of human rights. So it has started from one generation to another generation. The first it has or otherwise the developmental period of the human rights can be divided into three. The first generation, that is during first generation during Magna Carta period, that is Article 2 to 21 of Universal Declaration of Human Rights by the United Nations Organization, and in this we can see the first generation, and the second generation developed during, and this has insisted on racial gender discrimination. To the racial gender discrimination was given much importance to the in first generation, and in the second generation was started during 1944. In this second generation, economic, social, and cultural importance was given, and that has been that has been given top priority in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights or Human Rights Development. The third generation is starting from 1992, and that has been started during in Rio de Janeiro conference, that is the environment development, and the solidarity of human rights also was given importance in third generation. Now we will see the human rights can be divided into two, that is called natural rights and then the civil rights. The natural rights is beyond the control of the government body. So even without the control of the government, the people themselves control themselves. That is called natural rights. And civil rights is different from natural rights. Civil rights is forced by the government. The government has to see that the civil rights are enforced, or the civil rights are equally distributed among the human beings, so that the human rights are protected. That is called civil rights, and this civil rights can be divided into political rights, and that is in political rights we can see the economic rights, social rights, cultural rights, and solidarity. In economic rights, the economy should not be in one with one person, and it should be equally distributed among all. So for that the government should pave the way that the economy is distributed among all equally, so that they should not suffer economically. Now next one is social rights. In social rights, the people are equal, and the social rights are to be protected. There should not be any discrimination on the basis of social value. And then next is cultural value. The cultural value, each and every civilization is different from culture. Culture is the all along what the race is maintaining from long years ago. That's called cultural rights. And as regard Dravidian culture is one thing, and Aryan culture, like that, the culture is different from the civilization. So culture cannot be changed by any means. So that cultural rights are to be protected, and it should be given to all. That's called cultural rights. And solidarity rights, though there may be so many, the diversity will be there, and all should be in a uniform, they should in united manner. That is called unity in diversity. That is called solidarity rights. Next we will see some of the other rights to be protected as enshrined in the Constitution. That is right to live, right to food, each and every should have food, and right to water, right to speak, and right to information, கருத்து சுதந்திரம், right to think, that சிந்தனையை அவரோட சிந்தனையை வெளிப்படுத்துதல், and right to media, ஊடகத்திற்கு சில சுதந்திரம் கொடுக்கப்பட வேண்டும். So for example, the newspaper or the radio or TV, these are all called media, and right to media should be there. And right to religion, anybody can preach any religion, anybody can adopt any religion. That is the freedom given by the government. No government should force the people to adopt this religion or that religion. That is called right to religion. Next we will see how what is the importance. The importance can be human rights can be understood by means of in 2012 there are 2,205 cases were there against police. That is that charge sheet were also prepared on 19 police officers. And then in 2011, 72 cases were registered against the police. These are all these cases includes the that is the prisoners are made to suffer in the police custody, and then the women are not given proper respect. And these cases are coming in the 72 cases framed during 2011, and during 2002, 37 cases were framed against police. These include the same thing, which is the harassment of prisoners in jail and are in police custody, and the disrespect to the women prisoners. And every year the Human Rights Day is celebrated on December 10th because Universal Declaration of Human Rights were declared on December 10, 1948. So from that day onwards, the December 10th is celebrated as the Human Rights Day. In United Nations in Geneva, this United Nations, that is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights were made. That is, the human rights were declared in the United Nations in Geneva. That's why in each and every year, December 10th is celebrated as Human Rights Day. And Protection of Human Rights Act was enacted in India on 12th October 1993. So Section 2 of Human Rights specifically mentions about a right relating to life, liberty, equality and dignity of the individual guaranteed. So you should guarantee the individual's right to life, liberty, equality and dignity. So the right to life means each and everything, every person have the right to live. There should be all sort of protection should be given to their life. And liberty also, the liberty, they can adopt any religion, or they can do any service, they can do anything, they can migrate from one place to another, they can do any work. That is called liberty. Equality, all are equal before law and they should be respected by all and one and all. That's called dignity of the individuals are guaranteed. So the government should see that these rights are guaranteed are guaranteed to the citizens. Then section the function, it is function, the Human Rights Commission is functioning from Delhi, and the jurisdiction is all over India. And now we will see what are the constitutional rights given for the individuals or for the citizens of India. Article 14, all are equal before law, nobody is above law. This is always called rule of law. And Article 15, the states, the state cannot discriminate in the name of religion, race and caste. There should not be any discrimination. எந்தவித பாகுபாடும் இருக்கக்கூடாது. அதாவது மதத்தாலேயோ அல்லது அவர்களுடைய ரேஸாலேயோ அல்லது கேஸ்ட் இனத்தாலேயோ அவர்களை எந்தவித பாகுபாடும் காட்டக்கூடாது. That is, there should not be any discrimination in the name of religion, race and caste. And Article 16, equality of opportunity. Then all of the employment opportunity should be given to all. So that is enshrined in Article 16. And Article 17 says abolition of untouchability. And then Article 18 specifically says about abolition of titles, that is the Raja or the titles given to Mirasdar, like that, those titles were abolished. But the titles given by the government for the soldiers and other things are there. That is Veer Chakra, Param Chakra, Virdu, that is the honorary, they are honored by giving that the medals and all. That is there always. And then Article 19 6 freedoms are given, that is the freedom to speech, freedom to assemble peacefully, that is the men may join as assemble in a place, but there should not be any anti-national activities, that is called assemble peacefully, assemble to form association. They can, for the purpose of some insisting on some important aspects, they can form association, and they can move freely from one place to other place, and they can reside and settle in any one place of India, and that is they can practice any profession. This is given by the Article 19. So 6 freedoms are given by the Article 19. So these are all coming under the human rights. And the next thing is Article 20. No person can violate the law. That is, all are nobody is allowed to violate the law. And Article 21 protect the life and liberty of the citizens. And Article 22 protection against arrest and detention. So unnecessarily, the person should not be arrested and detained without any offence. So valid reason should be given, and within 24 hours after the arrest, he should be produced to the judge, and on the after the proclamation of the judge, accordingly the police should act. Then it may be the detention in the judicial custody may be there. Then Article 22 says about protection against arrest and detention, and Article 23 says about a right against exploitation. Nobody should be exploited. So say for example, a person, the salary by a person can be given in low wages, can be given, but the work may be expected more. This is called exploitation. This is against the right of the individual. That is right against exploitation. And Article 20, that is traffic in human beings. That is there should not be any prostitution or any immoral activity should not be there. That is protection, traffic in human beings. And Article 25 to 28 says freedom of religion. Anybody can practice any religion. And Article 29 to 30 says about the culture and educational rights. And Article 31, right to property. Right to property, but if the government thinks that they may require some land for some specific purpose of government expanding the government projects, then the property can be acquired, but otherwise the right to property is protected. And Article 32 specifically says about the constitutional remedies. One can insist on fundamental right, and he can go to the court according to Article 32, and they can go to Supreme Court, writ of habeas corpus, mandamus, certiorari, status quo, these things, and quo warranto. This writ can be made in the court of Supreme Court, and Article 226 can be invoked in High Court, insisting on fundamental rights. So these are the human rights given by the Human Rights Commission, and Universal Declaration of Human Rights also insist by United Nations Organization. And apart from that, the asylum, that is, if anybody asks asylum from the neighboring countries, provided if he is not, if the person seeking asylum have not done any criminal activities, then asylum can be given, and all should be protected by means of these liberties, and rights should be given to all. So these things are coming under human rights. With this we can see the subtopics in the other videos: human rights and the women rights, and the human rights and police. Like that we will see the other topics. With this we conclude this video.